Ian, what's the lamest thing you've ever done?
I mean, could take a long time because it's pretty much my whole life has been spent trying to impress people and failing pretty spectacularly. But one of the things was that I was at university in my first year and I didn't get into a hall of residence, which is effectively saying you're a pariah. But luckily I was studying theology and religious studies, so I had lots of friends. Lots of friends through that course, obviously. So I had no friends, and I had no friends for a year. And about 2 months from the end... No, don't pity me, I'm over it now. And, or am I? And towards the end of the year, basically, one of the sort of trainee vicars, because that's pretty much who was on my course, took pity on me and invited me to his hall of residence, his end-of-year ball. And so I went along thinking, I don't even know this guy very well. He's like a trainee vicar and he's taking pity. I've got a pity invite from a vicar. And I'm thinking, this is not what was on the box when I signed up to go to university. This is not what I was expecting for a year at university. So I went along, I went in black tie, and I was there for a couple of hours, and no one really spoke to me, and I didn't really speak to anyone else. It was quite a big do, this big hall of residence. And then suddenly, just literally, I was about to leave, and from nowhere, this girl came up to me, and she kissed me on the mouth, with tongues, and she said, take me back to my room and, make love to me. And I was like... I mean, she didn't say make love, but she did say something like that. And I said... and I remember thinking... This is amazing. This is actually what I thought would happen at university. It's been a year, and this is literally the first girl that's kissed me probably for 2 years. This is great. So we walked out of the sort of disco bit, and then just out the corner of my eye, I saw the next room, and it was a huge room, huge parquet floor, and I thought, this girl's a free spirit. Maybe I've got to prove to her I'm also a free spirit. And I was like, let's just do something young. We're young and crazy. Let's do something young and crazy. And I actually said that, because it's burnt in my brain. And I said, come on, let's skid. Did you ever skid as a child? And she went, I'm sorry. And this is probably the third thing she said to me was, I'm sorry, when I said, let's skid. And I threw my shoes off and I was like, let's skid. And I went up the parquet floor and then back down the parquet floor. And I remember seeing her face as I came back towards her, skidding, going, whee! And she looked sort of, I think it was just about to become horrified. That look when people are a bit like, I'm worried, I'm about to become horrified. And then I skidded back, and then by the time I turned around, she had gone. And it was, I remember my father, before I went to university, my father said to me, it doesn't matter what grades you get, just try and be the big man on campus. And I was like, And I remember thinking catastrophic at that moment, well, I'll never be the big man on campus now. It's going to pretty much ruin that.
I liked the idea of this sort of erotic...
No.
Like, it was like a Channel 5 adult drama. Theology Nights.
But it was kind of like...
The girls at university think they're the trainee vicars, they're impossible.
They're
impossible. It's like the women who go after gay guys. It's like one above that, isn't it? There's gay guys they're impossible to sleep with, and then there's the vicars. You'll never sleep with them. I'm going to give it a go. And then he started skidding around on the floor. I wonder he's becoming a vicar.
I love the idea of there being good hags who just hang out. That monk's costume really turns me on.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, at the end of that, Richard, you had the bottle of wine and the dead flower sort of memorial service. Holly was... you bled from the face as you hit the water, and Ian, you skidded your way out of a sexual encounter with a vicar. Well, you know what? I'm going to give a point to Holly, because there's an element of the horror movie. OK, the next round is called Do Your Worst. It's a test of my guests' capacity for creative cocking up. This week, I'll be asking them all to pitch an idea for a new internet business. Some experts have predicted that within just 5 years, the internet will attain self-consciousness and become an independent thinking entity. So, Peter Andre, the race is on. Scientists have speculated that, looked at in 3 dimensions, the internet is shaped much like the human brain. Well, it's certainly like my brain in that it's 98% pornography and 2% video gaming. Anyway, Ian, we'll start with you. What's your online business model, schemata, web domination, value package type thing?
Well, let's look at it this way. What works? What's popular? Social networking. So it's a social networking site that gets rid of... it works with sites like Bebo, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, etc., but it funnels them down to what's essential about them. So effectively, it's a way to much more precisely stalk your ex-girlfriends. Or boyfriends. What it does, there's a lot of chaff out there, so it goes to all those sites, it immediately directs you to any slightly sexy photographs they might have had, say nights out, holiday snaps, that sort of thing. It also prioritises for you dickish things their new boyfriends might be doing. So, something they might have said any time they say lol or Rufflecopter, for example. anytime more than 3 exclamation marks are used, you get an alert. You can go, he's a dick, isn't he? So that's pretty much what it does. And also it'll let you know when she's had a career setback or, maybe her status has changed. Just a good time to poke her, offer a game of Scrabble, something like that. That's what it'll go for. It'll let you know these things. And also the way the page is set up, it'll constantly bombard you with messages saying this is normal and totally fine. Nothing to worry about. What you're doing is totally fine.
I thought you were going to say it's all with the way the page is set up. It all looks like you're viewing it through the eye hole of a balaclava.
Well, now not a bad idea, Charlie, if that makes sense.
Okay, so that's sinister, but I can see the appeal.
Well, I thought maybe expansion pack for people you sort of fancy at work or people at school doing worse than you. Those sorts of things you could add in.
It's terrifying. This is basically what you're doing there is building up a file of evidence against yourself. Does it just email the results straight to the police? That'd be good. Holly, what's your...
I've devised a website which is called ReliCycle, and basically it's... we all know the success of websites like FreeCycle, where people advertise things that they no longer need and then someone comes and picks it up. Well, this is specifically for unwanted family members. So, for example, I've got a grandmother who I no longer need. She means nothing to me. I can't afford to put her in a home. So I advertise on ReliCycle, and then, I say, like, I've got a granny, her name's Edith, in the Lewisham area, come and pick her up. So, like, if another family wants a granny, or maybe they just want to break her down for parts, that's all... But then also, it's going to be like self-regulating. Like on eBay, how you can rate sellers. So, like if somebody rips you off and they go, great, I picked up Edith, she died a week later. And she wasn't even a real granny, she was a step-granny.
Callous. You callous witch. I mean, you said that with such a sort of sweet smile. It's a monstrous idea. Richard, how about you?
Well, there's a lot of price comparison sites, and I wondered if we could take that out and... I thought about doing a life comparison site where you could maybe call you'vewastedyourlife.com, in which you have to type in all the achievements you've had in your life, and then they're compared to everyone else in the world by a computer, and then it gives you a score of where you come. Maybe there's one just for everyone in the world. You could do, like, I think we're getting there with, like, friends and people from school. You could have a section. I think you could have you and famous figures from history who are the same age as you. So you get Jesus at 33, achieved quite a lot. You're watching Hollyoaks. Every Sunday, despite having seen every episode in its original 6:30 evening showing.
Would it say, well, you're doing worse than Jesus? You're doing better than, Paul Heine, the consumer affairs journalist?
Well, someone's got a bit too big for their boots if they think they're doing better than Paul Heine, Charlie.
I'm not saying that.
All right.
See, if I did that, I found out recently that Holly Willoughby went to my rival's school, and she's exactly the same age as me.
Right.
She's now doing incredibly well and has like an amazing husband and children. Yeah. That would just be...
She's really nice. I've met her as well. She's super nice. She is. She's really nice. And she's funny. She's really funny, actually. She's really funny.
And then you just get a score, out of 4 billion people. I mean, it would be good if you were one of the people who came, like, in the top 10. You'd feel quite good. But most of us would come, like, 3 billion.
Yeah, all but 10 of us would come.
I mean, so there'd be 10 very smug people. It would be a very good site for most of humanity. Yeah. It would be just to be told... of, how you've wasted your life. It's a wonderful opportunity to be alive for a brief period of time, and we waste it.
But surely, you could compare yourself... Like, I could get depressed comparing myself to, like, Mozart. Yeah. But then, if I'm alive and eating a sandwich, that's more than he can bloody do. So it's all relative.
But then that's in a shorter time span as well, so that's taken into account. He had a short life, and, you'll have a longer life and achieve less.
You know what? I like that idea, because I'm obsessed with that sort of thing. I'm always... It's all a monstrous game, all of this. It's all a race. It's all a race. I'd knife all of you in the eye just to get 1% more than any of you. Yes, I appreciate that idea, so I'm going to give a point to you, Richard.
Thank you.